Good evening and welcome to television. How are we, guys? A bit light on tonight. We're going to have an action-packed night tonight. But I am having some problems myself. My little audio device, I don't know if it was lack of charge or something, but yeah, it's having a few little issues. And hopefully this audio on this camera is working alright, because that audio is not. Anyway, I digress. Tonight, action-packed. Watchers, we have Tony, VK3VAT, Mark, VK3PI, John, VK3ATV, Brendan, VK3BKO, and Steve, VK3TTF. They're our watchers on RF that have checked in. We also have currently 8 watchers on YouTube, which I'm just signing into now, I think. So that's going to tell me, oh no, we're up to 10, and we have 3 on Discord. So hello to everyone watching. Thank you. We obviously the preferred is to be on RF if you can. If you can't, we're still happy for you to, hence why I run this service. You can watch on YouTube 20 seconds later, or you can watch it on Discord, which is half a second later, so it's pretty good. For those guys on Discord tonight, and for at least the next 12 months, maybe longer, hope you're enjoying HD. So it's actually in 1080p now, so I've actually subscribed and upgraded it so you can actually watch it in 1080p, and it's at 30 frames. Got to still work to make sure that it is good quality, which I have to watch a few have some time and watch a few broadcasts just to tweak the settings a little bit between what I'm streaming onto Discord and make sure that everything matches so we get the best possible quality that we can. I can actually stream it up higher, so it can stream up to 2K, not quite 4K, but 2K. But yeah, 1080p will probably be sufficient for now because most of our broadcasts are around that anyway. So yeah, it won't make much difference. Tonight we have me and we have Peter. Unfortunately, no one else has checked in, so it's going to be a short one, but I'm sure Peter will have lots of juicy information of what's going on. Tonight, I'm going to run a quick video. It's because many of you know, and quite a few of us ATVers that are out there that are probably watching but don't want to transmit, are also microwave activations people. So I'm going to run a quick video which will tell you all about it, and this is very thankful to a very, very active microwaver in the name of Andrew, VK3FS. He's given us ATVers permission to basically rebroadcast his YouTube videos, obviously to promote the hobby. So yeah, great video. Yeah, it'll speak for itself. So enjoy.
CQ on 10 gigs, CQ on 10368.1.
So, something's piqued your interest in microwave. Before you dip your toe in, the first thing you should do is find a local microwave mentor or Elmer, because nothing beats local knowledge. Secondly, watch this video. Amateur microwave is a lot of fun. Not only will you learn new skills, chances are you'll meet a new cohort of operators, but it's not all beer and skittles. Ask yourself this before you begin your journey. Who do you know that lives in clear line of sight of you who is interested in microwave? If the answer is no one, then contacts on 2.4 GHz and above will be few and far between, unless you go portable. The domain of microwaves are hilltops. Few are lucky enough to operate from home. SSB is the mode. No one uses FM, well, in Australia anyway. Antennas are horizontally polarised and very, very directional. Typical antenna gain is greater than 18 dB. Panning an antenna just a few degrees off centre will result in an S9 Plus signal being virtually unreadable. This is more so the higher you go in frequency. A dish typically has a gain of 30 plus dB and a beam width of a few degrees. This laser sharp signal must be accurately aligned to the distant station in both the horizontal and vertical plane. Panel antennas are a little broader. Omnidirectional antennas are not used. RF power for terrestrial communications is in the order of watts. For example, 3 watts at 10 GHz into a dish with a gain of 35 dBi will produce in excess of 5 kilowatts ERP. That's toasty, so don't stand in front of it and be careful of your surroundings. 2.4 and 5.7 GHz are in the global Wi-Fi bands. If you're in a densely populated area, the noise will destroy any weak signal. Extremely short runs of low-loss coax are critical for efficient RF transfer, so learn how to make your own custom cables. Obstacles and dirt in a microwave path will stop a signal dead in its tracks. So the use of a path loss calculator is essential for both local and DX contacts. Enjoy your foray into microwave. Don't rush. Do your research and make smart choices. Find a local microwave mentor and ask lots of questions. There's no such thing as a silly one.
Did you know that a video edition of the WIA News broadcast is screened here? VK3RTV Channel 1 by Clint VK3CSJ, every Sunday morning at 10:30 AM, repeated Sunday evening at 8 PM.
Some audio would be handy, wouldn't it? There we are. So, many of you might know, so anyway, as you saw, that's my 905. I've been an operator for quite some time. Caught the bug, as you would say, a few years ago, and really enjoy it. Now, the reason for the video is because this weekend on Sunday we're having what's called a MAD Day, which you would have just heard about, and a whole bunch of us will go and find a hilltop and then do some communications with each other, do some testing. Often we're testing new antennas or things like that, quite frequently, testing conditions as well, and also, you know, what these crazy bands do sometimes, because we have some very interesting results sometimes good, sometimes not so good, but it doesn't matter which way we go, it's always a lot of fun. So we do that. Now, if you're vaguely interested in microwave and you've got the equipment to receive it, maybe not transmit there, I would suggest if you can see the city, the buildings in the city, point your antennas towards that direction. And there's a good chance that you'll hear some activity on Sunday afternoon. I know Mark, JMA, and myself will actually be heading to a hill in Berwick, actually just behind the RMC repeater. We'll be on a hilltop there, and we get fantastic results from there when we point directly to the city. And it just so happens that that path also has power lines going for a long distance all the way there, and we suspect that the power lines are helping radiate that signal and hitting the city buildings, and giving us great directional, and then all the buildings reflect the signals, because we can point there and speak to people, in Mount Martha and all over the place. So even Mick CH, we've spoken to him up at King Lake, and people on Mount Dandenong, and everyone points to the city, and we all seem to get really, really good signals to each other, depending on the day. Sometimes the signals are okay, other times they're fantastic. So in fact, sometimes often better than pointing direct to each other. So that's what we've found. So yes, so Sunday afternoon, if you're not doing anything, listen in on the liaison frequency of 439 FM, and you'll hear us establishing communications on there and saying, hey, we're going to try this band. And if you can listen, we often start at 1.2 gigs, 23 centimetres, and work our way up through the bands. I will probably be taking some video there this weekend. I've taken some video there before, but I'll do some more and have some results. By all means, if you're watching this and you're a microwaver and you didn't see the emails going around to do the MAD, then come and join us. And if you know the site and you're interested, the invitation's open to come and have a look. Parking where we are, though, is a little bit tight and sort of not allowed. So, you'll have to sort of come, have a look, and then disappear before someone gets in trouble. But, we haven't had any problems there. The locals usually come and go, oh, these guys are back again. So, the locals know us now. So, we've been there several times, and they seem to be okay, because we make sure that we clean up after ourselves and look after the area, because we want to keep using it. So so there's that. Other things that I've been doing. Sorry, as I lean off the screen, I did get this. Too big for the screen, but this is obviously a Yagi, and it's a 70 centimetre Yagi, and not for voice. Well, it's for receiving ATV. I'm actually going to tune it for receiving ATV, part of my portable station setup. So I couldn't have one too big. But I'll be using that to tune in RTV and building on the transmitter. I'm not sure if I showed this last week, but there's a splitter. The plan is to have multiple bands, and also got this, so I should be able to hopefully transmit on 70 centimetres as well for simplex work, obviously. So that's coming along. Like all my projects, they get time slots, and as parts come in, I try and get things together. But that's all I've sort of been up to radio-wise. Model trains, I've been busy with that, so that's always busy. More on that further down the track, as they would say. So pardon the pun. Actually, no, don't pardon it. It's a good pun. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. I'm assuming Peter will be ready now. If he gives me a on the radio, I'll know that he's ready. So, yep, Peter's ready. So I will go off. I'm on S tonight, so it shouldn't be any problems, Peter. If you start transmitting, I'll go to my screen and my test pattern, and then I'll drop off and you should be there. So anyway, and Peter, you can close the net because I haven't had anybody else log in. So thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. 15 on YouTube and a few more on Discord. So, and including some overseas and interstate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5. So hello to everyone. I can see G7JTT and VK5DMC on Discord. So thank you for tuning in, guys. I know it's different time zones for you, so I hope you're enjoying the HD on Discord now, and yeah, it should be good. All right, that's it for me. I'll stop waffling and I'll hand it over to Peter. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Peter, VK3BFG. I didn't have time to put my switcher on there, so we had to run over to the ATM and press the button myself, rather than doing it on the computer here, which is normally just on my left.
VK3RTV.
Oops, so easy. We'll just close that one off. Maybe John's coming up with something. Anyway, I've been down at the Eastern Mountain District Radio Club this afternoon, working on VK3ER's system. I've reorganised the rack significantly and getting ready to put in a bigger PA, just waiting on a new FET for that one. We're running DVB-T there now, and there's a long story associated with it. Originally it was DVB-S, but that didn't work out because somehow or other we couldn't get the ports down system to work on their Ethernet system. So we've got the DVB-T, and it just requires a little bit more wick, and I was getting in quite okay this afternoon, but if conditions are a bit average or just normal, probably it's a bit marginal. So it just needs maybe 1 or 2 dB actually. Probably would just do the job. Anyway, as well as that, I've been looking at the back of the rack, and it's full of plug backs, which is pretty ugly. So I've built up a couple of DC distribution boards. You probably know these little devices here that you can get from JCar, and we just have DC in there, and that'll run the 12 volt lot, and there are a couple of 5 volters there, so I've built yet another one, slightly different, with the converter on the top there, and that'll run the 5 volt lot there for 3ER, and I believe the FET is almost here, so perhaps next month they may be on. They'll be on just on their general meetings when they have a guest speaker, so that's basically once a month on a Friday night. So Friday night will turn out to be a pretty good night occasionally. Well, it's always a pretty good night when Clint, VK3 CSJ, is on with the VK3 ASV broadcast, which is the Astronomical Society of Victoria, and it's always a good show. And I think Clint is about to reinstall that one. He just had a bit of a rest over the Christmas period and sort of a little bit later than the Christmas period, and I believe that the 3ASV broadcast will be back fairly soon, so that's good. On the RTV front, I thought I'd show you what we've done with the GT media boxes. There it is there. And you can see I've got two little PCBs that I make up in the back of my garage, actually. This one here, which is that one there, that's the infrared emulator. It also will pass the infrared signal, which is the normal infrared diode is mounted here. So I've just cut the tracks for the infrared, and that little pickaxe there generates the IR codes when you get a signal down this side here from the main controller, and the signal's pretty straightforward. I think from memory it's just an ASCII, an A and ASCII B will bring up the signal reports. The one on the side here is the one that was designed by, well, the PCB wasn't, but the actual software here was designed by Steve, 3TTF, and you can see we've grabbed hold of some of the lines that were coming from the display that was there, and Steve and I identified there was a particular pattern on one of those lines that was going to the display that changed in some way or other when a signal was there. So we're using that as a signal detect. There's just a little relay there which will close its contacts, and that's sent back down this line here. So we've got RS-232 signal coming in here and going to that system, but also we've got the relay which short circuits contacts which go back to the main controller. So that pin there, that socket there carries the RS-232 control signal for the set-top box, but also it takes back to the main controller the fact that there's a signal there because the relay contacts have closed. So that's really what we've done with all of them, but this one's a little bit different from the point of view that usually we're looking at picking up the receive lead that some of the earlier set-top boxes had. These ones tend not to have that. So what we're doing here is we're polling between the S channel, or the satellite channel, and the normal domestic channel in the normal way. And you can see here we've got the satellite channel there and the domestic channel. And to get the domestic channel, we've got a down converter to about channel 29, I think it is, and that's our little system. And I'm just waiting on an IC socket to put in a Dragon that I found, and the Dragon will program those AT Tinies quite well. And the Dragon is an Atmel development system that I bought a long time ago and put away in a box. And I discovered it back a couple of weeks ago. I thought, my goodness, look at this. So it was, a good discovery. RTV-wise, we're looking at a third system there to poll, which will take the response time down a bit So it's going to poll DVB-S S2, then DVB-T, and then the third one will be two megasymbol DVB-S. So we'll be running 4 megasymbol DVB-S and then 2 megasymbol DVB-S. And that will happen as soon as I can program for the AT20s. Of course, Steve 3TTF could do that, but he's already done a lot. So I thought I'll get the Dragon going anyway. Not a bad thing to do because it's a pretty useful tool actually for all sorts of Atmel controllers. So it'll come in handy for other things. So that'll be really good. Along that same lines, just talking to Rob 3TRX and Rob 3IE, I'm building, well, I've ordered the bits for, and we'll build up a ride receiver. I haven't really looked at that in any detail at all. I realise that some of the guys, I think Neil 3BCU probably has one, and I think Rob also has one. And Rob 3IE, that is. But they're based around a Raspberry Pi, so we've got a Pi 4 just arrived. So that's one of the things. I've ordered some PCBs from the BATC, which will be the front panel control. And I'm not sure what else I need. I need they recommend to put it in a steel box, which I think probably is a good idea from the point of view of isolating it from all the signals that are floating around in repeater sites. So that one is going to require an antenna switch. We can't think of a way of doing that really. Other than that, but maybe something else might come. We've already got 3dB couplers on all antennas, and one side of the 3dB couplers goes to the down converter and then into the domestic tuner, and then the other side of the 3dB coupler just goes straight to the satellite port of the receivers, and that they all are serviced by the same preamp. So that system works, and whilst you can contain it inside the receiver itself, the single receiver, you can poll the channels quite okay. But now we're going to have yet another bit of hardware involved. But the ride receiver, of course, will go down to very low symbol rates. So I thought it would be just something that people can play with, and also perhaps might encourage people further afield to access the repeater, and those that maybe are in poorer locations, which some are, even in the metropolitan area. Even when we were at Olinda, there was Dave. I remember 3JDA who had great difficulty as he was shielded by One Tree Hill. So no location is absolutely perfect. So those are the things I've got in train. I was trying to find the Dragon I was talking about, but I can't find it. I put it away. I thought, I've got it. I thought, yeah, I'll put this away. It's not in the normal box that I had it in. So it'll be a bit of an adventure around here to try and to find that. So that's about it for tonight for me. It'll be good when Neil's back, and perhaps a couple of other people come up on the net to show and tell, or just have a chat, whatever. It's really just for that. And also g'day to Dave 5DMC, if you're still watching there, Dave. And I hope you've sorted out your problems with the SRT. I'm absolutely sure that the problems you're in, I did test the SRT system a couple of days ago just to make sure that movement was free and clear and all of that, and it was fine. So there's something in your settings there that is causing the blocking. But it's good to have the VK5 guys up on Mondays and any other time when RTV is not in use. And that's certainly the concept that I've got in mind when 3RGL comes online, and if we have the link to the VK5 repeater as well, that could work in the same way, and just increase the spread and bring the usage up a little bit, and some interest from all of us. Anyway, that's it for me from tonight, and also for the net. Thank you for all the people that might be watching, and I guess it wasn't all that entertaining, but I did at least show you some of the hardware we've been working on, and you can expect to see 3ER up very shortly. All I've got to do is put the FET in and then adjust the drive levels a bit. Certainly won't be driving it very, very hard at all. Probably 20 watts will be ample for that. So that's it for tonight. Hope we'll see you all next week, and I'm not sure when Neil's back. He must be coming back very soon. It'd be good to have Neil back at 3BCU. So from me, this is Peter, VK3BFG, and we'll turn us out. Cheers all.
Okay, good evening everyone. John, VK3RTV, last minute add-on to the end of the net tonight. So I hope people are still watching. Haven't done a lot of ATV stuff, but I've done a little bit of radio stuff this week. So I thought I'd just give you a quick look at what I've been doing. So the first one, I've got quite a few ICOM radios, old ICOM radios from the 70s and 80s. I've got a few 2 metre ones that you can't really use all that much these days because I don't have CTCSS. So I have had a project or had an idea for quite a while to add a CTCSS board on. So thanks to Bob 3BVR, he did give me a PCB and a program chip, and I put that, not a very good camera, but put that together, and you can program that for different CTCSS. I was just going to use 91.5 because that's what the majority of 2 metre repeaters are on, and that would cover most of them. 123 hertz would also be. Sorry about that, John. I didn't realise you were there. That's all right, Peter. You turned your radio down, so you didn't get the last minute call. You can put a switch in to switch between the frequencies. So I've got a couple of radios. One of them is IC25A. I'm not sure whether people are familiar with that one or not. And I decided I'd put the CTCSS on that for the first attempt. So unfortunately, I couldn't fit that board in the radio. It's a fairly compact construction on the radio. But then I remembered that years ago, I actually had bought some CTCSS boards, SS64 boards. slightly smaller. So that's the 64. That's the other one I built. And you can see the height difference is pretty significant. So I put that, and that's got dip switches on it, so you can program that for any frequency. So I put that into this radio, and had success. So and it was a fairly simple installation in the end. Just wire it to switched 13.8 volts, and then the output of that onto. There's a couple of different ways of doing it. You can put it in the modulator section, or you can actually exercise the VCO. So, and I think that's what this one was. So it comes with a cable to just be able to wire that straight in, and some double-sided tape. So I'll basically just double-sided tape that to the lid of the radio, and yeah, it works very well. So I'm happy with that, and I got onto a couple of the local 2-meter repeaters with that radio. The only downside to the old 1970s, 1980s radios is they didn't have backed up memory. So when you take the power off, which I do in my shack, it drops all the memory. So you have to start again. Anyway, so that's that was good exercise. I've been meaning to do that for many years, and I'm glad I did that. And I've got another couple of radios. This one will fit into, so I will I'll do another radio as well. That's one project I've been pleased to finally get to. The other one, for those people who have been watching the net for many years, would know that I had an ICOM ICR 7000 receiver on my workbench, and it has been sitting there for a long time. Just really haven't got around to it. Not working all that much these days anymore, which is good. So had a chance to finally get into it. I'll switch cameras and just give you a look at the radio. One of the recommendations online is that you replace all the capacitors in the radio. And this one had a problem with the display not coming up or dropping out. So I replaced all the capacitors on the display board and got it working until I shorted out something, and a bit of smoke came out of it. So I put it aside in disgust and left it for a long time. Finally got back to it, and I worked out there was a burnt resistor. Replaced that. It worked again. I put the radio back together again, which is quite a task, and the display stopped working again. So pulled it apart. I think now it's a dry joint somewhere, because if I put a little bit of stress on the PCB, the display will go on and off. So there's a basically a loose connection, which could be a broken track possibly, or a dry joint somewhere. The other thing I'm considering is that there's a couple of coils on the board too that might have internal intermittent break, open circuit in there. So, but I'll give you a look at this radio and just give you an idea of what I've been doing. So I'll switch to the good camera, which is this one, and hopefully I'll still have audio. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, should still have audio there, hopefully. So that's the radio with the front panel open, and this is a display board here. This is the display, I've resoldered all the connections on the ribbon cable, because often that's a source of dry joints. And this area around here is my problem area. So I've tried to resolder all the solder joints in this area. I've fixed up this because connectors are usually a source of dry joints, but unfortunately at the moment it's still not working. So I've got to go further down the board, I think. So that's my current project. So not ATV related, but I'm actually enjoying getting back into having the time to really get into, as most of you would know with fault finding, you can't just spend 5 minutes and give up. You've got to be there and delve into the circuit diagram and really trace through where the signal is not as it should be, or the voltage is not as it should be. So that's an interesting one. Probably a little bit.
So I haven't got much audio there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's an interesting project. It's a little frustrating because I've fixed it twice and it's failed again. So. But it's keeping me busy and getting me back into fault finding. So, okay. All right. So that's what I've been up to. So working on radios, not necessarily on ATV, but at the moment both my DATV Express and my hides. Thank you. I'll turn that one off. Okay. So both my transmitters are working well, and I'm actually looking forward to maybe doing some of the 2 meg, the 2K bit rate narrow band video into the repeater. So we'll see how that goes, Peter. All right. Do you want it back, Richard, so you can close the net?
No, it's all good. You can close.
Okay. All right. Well, there's no last minute people, and apologies for the lack of organisation on tonight's presentation, but I was painting a bathroom and then I was cooking on the barbecue, so I've got my painting and barbecue clothes on, and I rushed into the shack looking that the net was going to close fairly early. So I hope people have stayed around to watch. All right, thanks for watching, and thanks Richard for doing the net again, and hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday night. So this is John VK3RTV closing the Melbourne ATV Group weekly net 73s.